Hey guys, Michael Mechanical here, the one with the winning spirit tag on his hat. Anyway, things at the moment look like they're going backwards, but you never know, things might pick up. My car is currently on hoists. Work's been performed to it at a place in Kilburn, South Australia. I feel like absolute garbage. I don't know if the shiny stuff on my face is making me look sicker than I actually am, but that's up to the dog to decide. So I'm not perfect, I'm not well. This is a brand new phone as well, and it's already broken. It's about me pocket. I'm using the old phone because this one got broken. The screen's cracked, but it still works, so no complaints there. Look at the crack in the screen. It'll get fixed in the next couple of days. It's not really worth fixing, but I'm fixing it anyway. It's a brand new phone, and I figure, well, instead of letting it go to waste, I'm just going to pay for the mistake and pay to prevent it from happening again, because that's a common problem that happens with my devices and everything, and it makes me angry. So I was like, it slipped out of my parka pocket, I'm going to get it repaired. I'm not one to muck around with that stuff. Also, something cool in my life. Hey Google, turn the lights 100%. Michael room.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Okay, I'm glad I did understand. Hey Google, Michael light 100%. Oh, God.
Okay, setting the Michael light brightness to 100%.
Oh, that tech is cool. So, say for example, you're feeling really unwell and you don't feel like getting up, or the light's too bright and you want to save a little bit of energy. Like, the light was bright enough as it was. You wouldn't believe me if I told you how cheap it was running at that point in time. Well, actually, when it's off, it's always using zero 0.5 watts of power for transceiver and receiver. The problem is the apps keep changing or could change, and then it makes the technology redundant. You can only use it as a bulb in a socket if they do that. So what we do is we look at how much power that actually pulls. When it is at 1% power, which is 1% light, it uses 1.5 watts of power. That's 1 watt to have the light bulb on in the room. And I'm just like, holy crap, that's freaking really good. Even at night time, my mum says that's too bright. when she wakes up from her sleep and she turns on the light. The downside about having a globe is you psychologically forget that you also have a switch. And if you're sick and you turn it off at the switch and you say, hey Google, turn on the Michael light, or bedroom light, what happens is it doesn't do it. It says it's not connected, or can't reach it. So it stresses you out because you have to push yourself to get up and turn the light on. When you feel like crap and you need a light, normally what I always have is a bedside light. That's what I normally have. But things are changing, and my lifestyle choices are changing. I'm not getting all stupid smart tech, because some of this smart tech is really just absolutely stupid. And you don't need smart tech everywhere. You don't need smart bulbs everywhere. Ideally, you pick the right bulb and you have the switch on all the time with special sensors for outdoor lighting or for specific reasons outdoors, because why would you want to dim the lights outside? That is silly. Unless you want to save power and you just want a subtle lighting. Do that for your garden, okay? Or get solar lighting out in the garden or something. So, my dad's planning to buy a Suzuki Alto. My mum still drives her Altis. The Fairlane is currently not on premises, but that gives me an opportunity to, if I give myself a chance, maybe next week, organise for someone to come out and cut out my desk's material. And then I can, when I get my ute back, transport said material to another property and then construct the rest of it there and finish it off. That's for essentially my desk. And I'm going to either have to take risks or ask someone to fabricate things for me, because I have my stupid tetanus issue, which makes it impossible for me to safely do any metalwork or fabrication without the risk of cutting myself and then ending up needing to go into emergency for some reason. For all I know, I've already cut myself and I don't even realise it, or exposed my blood to potentially bad bacteria, viruses, or whatever. It's just because my toes have an issue. I have ingrown nails in my big toes. That's because the big toes had major issues. After treatment, they were still, sort of normal, but they were abnormal, and they ended up having a bleed underneath it and all sorts of things. I think I did something silly and I kept my nails for my feet, sort of like to prove the point, and this is why my toes are like this. It's like not a joke. None of it's a joke. Shouldn't treat this like a joke. So, as I said to my mum tonight, we're in sort of a red and yellow spot at the moment. Things aren't green. There's nothing good at the moment happening. You have your good days and your bad days. I'm having a lot of bad days at the moment. Yesterday was a good day. I can't complain about yesterday too much. It wasn't sickening or anything. I was able to just get on with my day more normally than today or the day before that. The day before yesterday. I went to fitness today and I just did some cycling, and the more speed I picked up, or the longer I did it, the more pain I was in, with sharp pains throughout my gut region, and that's been affecting me. My weight finally has dropped down to my baseline, but that might not necessarily be a good thing. I might just keep losing weight at this point, and who knows. That's not necessarily a good thing. I think my baseline should be the point in which I naturally should weigh this amount of weight. But if I go down too much, that's not good or normal or healthy. Which is why I say yellow and red light. So yellow being, a little bit unstable, red light being really, this is bad. This is actually not good. And green light being all in the clear pretty much. So there is no green light at this point. And you'd have to have hold of that for a pretty long time. It has to be normal reasons as to why it would be like a yellow or red. I figure it might be worth just updating people. Yes, I've got hair again, but my hair might never be the same again. Who knows? Just have to deal with it. I mean, it's sort of going up, curling up. I never had. Look, I gotta see how things go. But I'll be okay. Don't worry about me, guys. I'm tough. You gotta look out for each other. Be safe. We are planning on eventually moving out of this house, away from some dramas and troubles in the home, the family issues. It's either going to be me and Mum, or it's just going to be me at this point, because I don't know. My parents own another house, and we only just discovered that there is asbestos in all of the areas. We're pretty adamant that the eaves are asbestos, but they're in such good condition. The person who was going around getting samples didn't want to smash into the eaves, so he picked a spot that was already, cut into, so as to minimize damage. And it's like, well, you can just fill it up with some putty and then paint over it, and you should be alright. to leave the eaves in good condition. Like, why punch holes in all the freaking walls? He knew what he was doing. We didn't get all the sampling we needed to, and we only know that now because there's a spot on the roof that hasn't been considered. But we have concrete tiles on the roof, but then we have these weird fascia boards up on the roof, to the sides, that we got told by the roof people they're not touching. If we clean it up ourselves and whatever, then they'll touch it. But they didn't give us any idea as to why they would not touch it. It just didn't make sense. Like, we want the whole roof done. Then we've got to renovate the kitchen and the laundry. We won't be doing the toilet or the bathroom, but we have to now work around the fact that it's been renovated and there is asbestos in those rooms, which is very, very bad and very, very dangerous. So to be safe, we've got to wear P2 respirators, got to wet down the area, and wet it as we go, sort of thing, if we're going to drill holes into walls, because it's not a simple thing. But within the next 5 years, we're looking at building up a bit of a reserve, a stockpile of funding from just paying rent to essentially, it's in Mum's eyes, our rent account, but we're going to put rent into one of my mum's accounts she controls, as if I'm paying board or rent or whatever. And then after that, we pay for our own way and we survive as if we're living in a rental property. But we pay the extra bills and help fund those as best we can. Mum's thinking of using that rent money to pay for cancer rates and stuff, and I think that's just silly. We need to be keeping our buffer going and building that up, so we need to find a way to finance those extra things. I mean, we're already putting in a pittance. Why not put in a little bit extra that we can afford and do that, so we can keep that buffer going? And when we see it's time to get the last of the asbestos out of the house, we'll lose the current renovated bathroom and toilet. We're planning to upgrade it from individual rooms to just one room, and that will give us an extra space that is twice the size of the toilet as it is now. Doorway will be pretty close to another 2 doorways, so there'll be a free doorway situation there, but it will expand the bathroom enough to make it possible to have a larger, what do you call it, larger area to shower and bathe in, or whatever it might be, because both rooms are pretty small. But the worst part is when you have a toilet with a door right there and you have to get behind the door and whatnot. That's already difficult as it is and frustrating, so having like an ensuite sort of a room is so much more convenient for those who need access. The only downside to that is if you only have one toilet in the house and it's an ensuite, someone has a shower or a bath, it's going to cut other people off from being able to access those amenities easily. So ideally, we should consider somehow getting a second toilet in it. But trouble with that is, how do we do that in an environment where we have the issues with bricking, with some issues with maybe expanding the foundation for extra rooms or extra space or whatever it might be? It's not an easy one to consider. So for now, it's a troubling matter to try and figure out how to arrange the house to be more friendly, but also keep it 70s style, because it's built in the 70s, and I'm planning on us getting a chandelier for 70s to go above our dining room table. It's not to go stupid around the house and control the whole house. It's about keeping the stylization of the house for the areas we're going to be conveniently in for, certain reasons. Having a chandelier above our dining table that is 70s, romantic, whatever you want to call it, that would be nice. It would be unique. And in a house which has smart switches and stuff wired in, that's going to be an added bonus because there are people that are working 70-hour weeks, regardless of if you're sick or not. It's a guarantee that this technology will benefit someone who's sick. It will benefit people who can't afford to run home and turn off a dryer that's a hazard to bloody burning down the house or something. Or turning off technology you don't need on, or to turn it on and off conveniently. Say, for example, you have kids. Say, for example, they've used their quota. Well, now you've got the power to turn off technology remotely and control their time spending and turn it off without needing to touch the physical switch. If you have kids, you might be able to lock it out too. Then the kids have to find another way, and if they're smart enough, they'll figure it out. But it's about discipline, control, and let's do other things instead. The unfortunate thing is it's not going to be in the bedrooms at this point in time. There is no reason to put smart switches everywhere other than lighting. Most lights will probably be smart lighting with dimmers. Some light switches are going to be the normal switch that you're conveniently used to and know about. But smart power points, just turning it on remotely. If you're scared someone's in the house or you're scared of something, you can just remotely say, hey Google, turn on the lights. Hey Google, turn on the TV. Or whatever it might be as a switch. Turns on those power points. And any intruders are going to think someone's home and probably, go away, hopefully, realizing someone might be up. Not getting robbed today, son. And what else is there? Smart air conditioning on your way home from a hard day's work if you do physical work labour. You come home and on your way you think, it's a very hot day or a very cold day, I'm going to turn on the air conditioner. You can set it from your car while you're driving. Hey Google, turn on the air conditioner. Hey Google, set temperature to hot. Hey Google, set temperature to 30 degrees. Hey Google, set it on high or medium or low, whatever it might be, your settings for your air conditioner. And that way, you can organize these things as you drive without touching your phone, which can get you in a lot of trouble. There's so many considerations for this technology. I've been told by a professional who's installed it, said someone spent about 10 grand on this smart tech and it was more of a novelty, and once the novelty weared off, then it was pretty much useless. I don't see it as being useless. I see it as being helpful in day-to-day living, in managing and controlling things, because it's not like you're going to be able to do it so easily if you're crippled. And also with your time management and dealing with issues, it'll give you some level of extra control. The places you don't want smart switches are your refrigerator and freezers. If you put them on a smart switch and you accidentally turn off the whole house's power remotely, just imagine what's going to happen to your food if you forget to turn at least that device on. You can't afford to have the fridge freezer not have a smart, a standard switch. A standard switch is enough. Don't go stupid through your house with smart switches. Don't hook a computer up to a smart switch. Don't hook, certain appliances up to smart switches. That is crazy and silly, because if you do that, it could come back to bite you. In what sense? The sense being, you'll end up destroying all your fruits and vegetables or whatever it might be in the fridge and the freezer. Your products you store. It's not a good idea. Anyway, I'm not mechanical. I'm gonna go to bed eventually. Take care. I'm out. Hey Google, Michael Light 1%. There you go.
Okay, setting the Michael light brightness to 1%.
That's right. 1%. Plenty of light.